Demands for school funding reform are growing as failed school levies catch up to local school districts' bottom line, especially as they deal with the financial burden brought on by this pandemic.
Oh, it's heartbreaking. It's the same thing over and over. Let's do for everybody but our children.
Our 5 on Your Side investigator Joe Paganakis explains why some lawmakers think the state may not be able to afford reform.
Rob, supporters in Columbus have been working on versions of House Bill 305 and companion Senate Bill 376 for the past 3 years. A funding formula supporters say would better help districts with low-income families and make Ohio's 609 districts less reliant on new tax millage.
We still have band and choir, but pretty soon those are going to go. Art classes are going to go.
Kathy Fallard is worried about her children facing more program cuts after yet another failed Parma school levy. She's in favor of changing Ohio's school funding formula.
There's so many people in the communities that just don't want to support the schools, whether they can't financially or they just don't want to. They're tired of always footing the bill. We need to find another way.
We're in an education budget crisis throughout the whole state.
The teachers union with the Cleveland Heights University Heights schools reached a tentative agreement with the district Wednesday over medical benefits and agrees reforming Ohio's school funding formula is desperately needed.
It's an unjust system, and it's a system that disproportionately affects districts like ours. And we have a high number of students who live in poverty.
Additional funding from the federal government and the state are always needed, especially in this unprecedented time.
The Ohio School Boards Association and 3 other associations sent this letter urging the state legislature to pass school funding reform before the end of the year. A formula supporters say would better take into account district demographics like income, the size of the local property tax base, and the ability of district residents to raise local tax revenue.
Of course, you put a priority on school districts that don't have the resources to be able to fund those needs locally.
Reform, the Ohio Education Association says, should have happened years ago.
We're hoping that we get a formula that really funds schools based on what are the elements that are necessary for a high quality education.
And those against the school funding bill say it comes with a big price tag that could reach $2 billion over the next 10 years, a price that could be hard to swallow with the state facing possible funding cuts in 2021 due to COVID-19 related costs. I'm 5 on Your Side investigator Joe Paganakis.